Boys, throw up your hands. I want your guns. Oh, I don't mean that. I've come to disarm you. This fight has commenced. Ike, either fight or get away.
Hello, and welcome everyone to Tombstone, Arizona. The local motto here for Tombstone is "The town too tough to die," to which I respond, this is really the town too touristy to die. But let's get to the reason why this city is even on the map. That being the famous gunfight at the OK Corral. October 26, 1881 is a day that put Tombstone, Arizona forever into the lore that is considered the Old West. The fight itself was not really that big of a fight. Depending on how you look at it, most of the incident lasted for a whole 30 seconds. But out of those 30 seconds, a whole legend was born. If you know anything about the Wild West, you have certainly heard about Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, or maybe even about the Clanton gang. But who exactly were these people? To start understanding this famous gunfight, let's start where it all began at the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. For $3.75, you can go visit the OK Corral yourself, and you too can walk out and see where this fight actually happened. You can also pay more to see a diorama or a live reenactment, but for me, the star attraction is this cheesy animatronic reenactment. Nothing beats seeing a very cheesy 16-minute presentation. It kind of reminded me of something out of Five Nights at Freddy, except instead of being a bear doll, I think the museum curators got a 2-for-1 special on the Theodore Roosevelt masks. In addition to seeing the animatronic recreation of the gunfight, you can see different types of exhibits that they have on display. There was a photo shop, several shacks, and many different carriages, including the hearse that carried the McLaury out to Boot Hill Cemetery. Prisoners of War. This is the old photography studio here. Talking about Geronimo. And here's the founder of Tombstone, Edward Schieffelin.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
Come on, we fly, pretty fly for a white lady. Old box cameras here. And you too, for only $5, can have your very own Geronimo Apache poster. You can get this version of him, or you can get with the rifle version of him. There'll be a live reenactment outside on the intersection. Yeah. After you have had your fill of the OK Corral, it is time to head out of town into Tombstone itself. What is amazing to me about Tombstone is that none of what you see in town is a state park or some kind of national historic district. It is all privately owned, which to me is kind of cool, that so much has been preserved through pure touristic capitalism. As expected, all things in Tombstone, Arizona focus around all things Wild West. I don't think you will find a town with more leather shops than in Tombstone. Got an old drill here, old miner drill there. Lots of souvenir shops here in Tombstone, Arizona. As they say, it's the town too touristy to die. The bell rung. In addition to the OK Corral, there are several places where you can see different shows, like rodeos or a stunt show, like we did. The show we went to was a stunt show, and it had a little bit of stunts, but basically it was a guy who did some trick shooting, but it really was more of a comedy show to me.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, apparently we're getting ready to watch a show at the Bucket of Blood Saloon.
The Bucket of Blood Saloon, okay.
That's what it says up there.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
there's beer and rooms available.
Okay.
Yes. Or the marshal's close by if it gets really out of hand.
Yeah, well, we did buy the tickets at the cantina, so, you know.
Yeah.
have some woman use. It is Tombstone. Alright, well, I'm gonna go in the back and get loaded. Yeah, use a gun this time, right? It smells like White Claw. How's everybody doing? Thanks for coming out. You know, it's hard to believe, only about 142 short years ago, which really isn't that long ago, there's only about 100 miners roaming those hills behind you. Now, in 7 short years, Tombstone actually bloomed up to more than 20,000 people. Now, 20,000 people back then, it actually made us the second largest city in the West, next to San Francisco. Yep, now in these hills and ravines that are just behind you. Song music or? I don't know what that is. It just follows me wherever I go. Well, Marshall, what are you doing in the saloon? Aren't you supposed to be protecting the town?
Yeah.
I am protecting the town.
What do you mean?
Most saloons part of the town, right, Buck?
Yeah. Now you see that red tin cup yonder in the window?
Yeah.
I bet you can't hit that.
I don't know what you've been drinking. I see 3 cups in that window.
Probably would, you drunk. Aim for the one in the middle, he might hit all 3, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's a little bit low and to the right. What is going on with our barrel?
I ain't no doctor, but that looks like a prostate problem. Since you won't die so much.
Oh! We got fun!
Was it at all realistic? No. But for $9, it was a fun way to spend an hour. They have a Tombstone Territory Cemetery mini golf area here. Nice little mini golf area. And then over here we have the famous porta potties, colorful porta potties. And lots of RVs over here. The big old... Yep, it was a rodeo. Gotta love the tin-sided houses here. This is historical survey house, but the tin side is what makes it special. That's not town. Cool cow. Yeah. Well, if I'm gonna get run over, might as well get run over by a cool car. Yeah, I think Mike was solid 20 miles an hour. We are here at the original Birdcage Theater, which is interesting because it copies the Birdcage Theater from, well, this is what Knott's Berry Farm copied. Another place that we found interesting was the Birdcage Theater. The Birdcage Theater was an interesting place to me because there's a replica version back in Knott's Berry Farm in California, close to where I live. I found out that the real Birdcage Theater was not so much a theater as it was a saloon and a general den of ill repute. But I guess if you were a miner back in the Wild West day, there wasn't really a lot of options for you. Basically, you could go out partying at the saloons or die trying to pick a fight with a local sheriff. Needless to say, there was a lot of saloons in Tombstone. Within 2 years of the founding of the town, there was actually 110 saloons, which kind of gives you an idea of what the kind of partying was going on there. Tombstone, Arizona will forever be known for the famous gunfight at the OK Corral. The main players in this event were a sheriff, a federal marshal, and a bunch of locals who believed they owned the town. The real reason the gunfight was important was because it basically marked the end of what was known as the Wild West era in the United States. The law had finally come to this lawless town. As romanticized as is the Wild West, it was an era that simply could not survive. Law and order is what makes a society able to progress and move forward, although it is fun sometimes to see how things used to be. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the channel out, and I would greatly appreciate the kindness. Until next time, Happy travels, and remember, adventure is out there. We just have to find it.